Hello, everyone. So, when I think back on myself 10 years ago, I remember thinking that my life was over. I was only 8 years old when the police raided my home as I sobbed and whimpered on my front porch. They then piled me and my siblings in the back seats of police cars that were built like cages. I had no idea what was happening. I just knew that they were taking me away from my home, they were taking me away from my mom, and I was yearning to go back. When I went into the foster care system, I didn't know how the state could claim that they owned me. I only began to understand when I was older and long out of the system. It was apparent after a judge had reviewed our case that if it weren't for my school principal and her husband, who was an officer leading this theft, I'd still have a normal life with my mom. I came from a blatantly racist elementary school in Kansas, where my 7 siblings and I were essentially the only Black students. This school was ultimately the reason for the successful wreckage of my childhood with my mother and the loss of many familial connections. In the system, I was split from my sisters, and then my brothers, and then I was told to be thankful and grateful to be placed back with some of my sisters. Over a year and a half, I went through multiple foster homes, some friendly, but most mentally, verbally, and physically abusive. This system, which was supposed to foster care, actually fostered hate. As my time in the system dragged on, I felt that I had no control over my life. I felt that I had no control over my story. This system did, however, bring me closer to my dad, which was something quite unexpected. When I was placed with him in New Orleans when I was nearly 10, I decided that I never wanted to be in a situation again where I felt worthless or unstable. So I made school a priority. I understood that they could take my home, they could perhaps call me worthless, but they could never take away my education. That was the one consistent thing I had in my life, that any guardian I had, it didn't matter who, was required by law to put me in school. So I began taking pride in my education, working as hard as possible to ensure that I had opportunities in the future that would allow me to take back control of my life. Through this, I realized that I actually love school. I love learning, and I love teaching others. When I got more involved in my New Orleans community through different outreach and advocacy organizations, I was able to do what I love, both teach other people and learn for myself. I found a passion, working on different teams to achieve a vision for a project and engaging and learning from diverse people along the way. For example, I've been a part of a community garden since I moved to New Orleans that has enabled me to teach others about food systems and food sovereignty. But it's not just the ability to share what I know that keeps me at this garden. It's the people, the community that is just so loving. This is what I treasure about my community work. When I found the Friends Forever program at age 17, I was at a point in my life where I was recovering from multiple life-changing events and milestones, and I wanted to find something that would help me learn about team building and really discover who I am and what I value. So I searched for programs that would allow me to really come into my own as I start the next chapter in my life. I searched for programs that would allow me to become a better leader. I searched for a program that was not targeted at high school students for the sole purpose of allowing them to put it on a college application as just another extracurricular activity. I was searching for something that would stay with me forever. So, when I found the Friends Forever program, I was almost shocked that it existed. Shocked that something focused on youth was about improvement, exploration, and vulnerability, instead of just telling them who they should be and what they should be doing. Upon the start of a unique application, I knew that I had to be a part of this organization. Every minute of the program, I learned something new, a new method of communicating, a new way of understanding different perspectives, a new way of bringing out my creative side. And FFI has not only allowed me to further my education in a new way, it has provided me with another place that I can call home. The people at FFI are so welcoming and so warm. And as a hugger, it was very frustrating this past year being on Zoom for 18 sessions, creating forever bonds with forever friends, and not being able to reach out and give them a squeeze. So, when I found out that we were going to come to the FFI campus here in New Hampshire in July, I was overly thrilled. This group has helped me grow in ways that I didn't think possible. I've learned to be less serious and more free, like when I did an entire improv session about toes. I've learned to step back and share the space so that others can explore their leadership styles. I've learned to be more open and vulnerable, like when we learned more about our history and our story of self. After this program, I was able to bring what I've learned to my different organizations. Now I bring reflection sessions and debrief to each workshop that I help host. I introduce team decision-making processes, what we call wish banking, to my STEM outreach events so that all team members are heard. Now, not only am I better able to listen to the people I'm working with, but they are better listeners themselves. Now that I'm a part of the alumni movement, I am so eager to meet future participants and watch more students like me go through the program and realize its wonderful impact. This program has instilled in me the primacy of self-love, friendship, and community. As I reflect on my experience at FFI, I am eternally grateful for the family it has given me. I am so happy that FFI is not a one-time thing. You aren't just a team for a week or two. Months later, I still look forward to debriefs and calls and messages from my team, other alumni, and staff. Now, when I'm feeling stressed, when the assignments are piling up, when I feel as though I will never understand valence electrons and chemistry, on those late nights, I stroke the friendship bracelet I'm wearing from my Orbit C3 team, and I feel a sense of relief. Remembering all that I have learned and experienced, I take a deep breath, and I appreciate the support of a team that I know is always there, always a phone call away. These are the moments at FFI that really make me feel the forever part. This is why I flew in late last night, so that I could be here and share these practices and values that I've learned at FFI in the hopes that you will help me spread them to others, so that everyone can live their lives and the values of Friends Forever in their everyday lives. Thank you.